Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Fabrizo Romano has given us more of an update on Jaden Sancho. He says Man United have restarted contacts to sign Jaden Sancho. And he says there's a potential contract until 2026. That's a 5-year deal. Fabrizo Romano has revealed how much Borussia Dortmund want for Sancho. He will cost around 77 million to 81 million. Man United have agreed terms with Sancho and we are closing in on an £81.5 million deal with Borussia Dortmund. It said yesterday Borussia Dortmund dropped their asking price for Sancho to £77 million. It recently said Man United opened official talks with Dortmund over Sancho. Sky Sports said a couple of days ago that Man United are in continued negotiations with Dortmund regarding Sancho. We are increasingly confident that we will finally sign the player. It says Man United are prepared to pay around £80 million. Says we want to get a deal done for Sancho before next weekend, because Sancho's already said that he wants his future resolved before the start of the Euros. Man United have been set a Jaden Sancho transfer deadline by Borussia Dortmund to get the deal done. Borussia Dortmund want Jaden Sancho's future decided before they go on their pre-season camp on the 23rd of July. I think the personal terms have already been agreed with Sancho, and we prefer Sancho over Harry Kane. As far as I'm aware now, we're no longer in for Kane. Konstantin Eckner, who was a Bundesliga journalist, he said the other day that Man United have reached an agreement in principle to sign Sancho, but there has been no bid yet. Jaden Sancho has Man United transfer hopes as Borussia Dortmund have been looking for replacements. But Sancho will be a great signing for Manchester United. The reasons is because he's predominantly a right winger. He'll fit in our team perfectly. He will exceed expectations in the Premier League. He will assure us goals. He's good at creating chances. He's still young. He's got a lot of development in him. And he's got a very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. They do talk to each other a lot. So they are the reasons. But yeah, Man United are going to definitely sign Sancho. Now, Jaden Sancho's already got a gentleman's agreement with Borussia Dortmund to join Man United. But we've been in for Sancho for the last 2 years now, so it has been a long running transfer saga. We should have got Jaden Sancho last year, because Sancho to Man United last year was extremely close. You know, the personal terms had been agreed, the agent fees had been agreed, a contract had been agreed. But the reason we didn't get him is because we was reluctant to meet Borussia Dortmund's 108 million valuation. We was only willing to pay so much up front. And Dortmund gave us until the 10th of August last year to sign Sancho. Missed out on that deadline, so he remained at Dortmund. Sancho's endured 4 years at Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund paid just £7 million for him from Man City, and he's under contract with Dortmund until 2023. Now, I want to give you some news on Kieran Trippier from Atletico Madrid. So, Kieran Trippier has told his England teammates that he wants to make a move to Man United this summer. Now, the Athletic have said that Man United opened talks to sign Kieran Trippier, as the player thought to have begun house hunting. Now, the Manchester Evening News said that we revived our interest in Kieran Trippier, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is unhappy with Wan-Bissaka's attacking output. We was interested in Trippier in January, but we culled our interest because Trippier got banned by FIFA for 8 weeks for breaching betting rules. I think Kieran Trippier is available for around £18 million. As I said, Atletico Madrid will find it difficult to recoup the £20 million they paid for Trippier from Tottenham. Everton are also interested. His current contract expires next year with Atletico Madrid. He won the La Liga last season with Atletico Madrid. Been there a couple of years now. Trippier is the age of 30. He's obviously well proven in the Premier League. He was part of the Tottenham squad when they got to the Champions League final in 2019. Obviously, that was under Mauricio Pochettino's guidance. Before, he's had 2 loan spells with Barnsley. He was at Burnley as well. He did have a loan spell with Burnley at one point. And he began his career at Man City. He came up their academy, but he actually never made an appearance in Man City's first team. We need someone to come in and provide competition for Wan-Bissaka, because Wan-Bissaka is our only recognised senior right back at the moment. Rafael Varan, Man United want to sign him. I can assure Rafael Varan is leaving Real Madrid, because Fabrizo Romano said he's refusing a new contract at Real Madrid, and Man United offered Varan a 5-year contract and a higher wage than the one he's on at Real Madrid. Spanish outlet ABC said that Rafael Varan appears to favour making a move to Man United, because he said last season he's keen on a move to the Premier League. Now, it said a few days ago that we may have been handed a boost in our pursuit of Rafael Varan, with Carlo Ancelotti returning to Real Madrid. Said he could be available for €40 million. I think Real Madrid are demanding £60 million. Not so long ago they rejected a £40 million bid. Man United and PSG also made offers for Varan because it's impossible for Real Madrid to meet his demands. But Real Madrid have decided to sell. Not so long ago he spoke out on his future. He said it's unlikely his future will be resolved for the start of the summer's European Championships. And Man United have held talks with Varan's representatives. We went in for him 10 years ago under Ferguson. Woodward was also prepared to sanction a £100 million move for him back in 2018. But he'd be a great signing for us because he's regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. He's highly experienced. He'd complement Harry Maguire very well in our back line. He will exceed expectations in the Premier League and he's got a great pedigree as a player. He's won 18 major honours at Real Madrid. So they are the reasons. And he's been a long-serving player with Real Madrid. He's been with them 10 years or so now. He's made over 300 appearances in all competitions. You know, Man United are still in search for a centre-half despite Eric Bailly signing a new contract towards the end of last season. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has promised Man United transfers this summer. And he says he's in the market for a striker. Solskjaer's looking to make around 4 signings in the summer transfer window in order for Man United to challenge for the Premier League title next season. If we recruit well in the summer transfer window, I think we can challenge next season for the title. Our board have said that they will back Solskjaer with a 3-year contract and summer signings despite our Europa League final loss. Solskjaer has been given a 150 million transfer budget to buy around 4 or 5 new players. To be honest with you, I think it is a mistake giving him the new 3-year contract. And I think a lot of United fans will agree with me on that aspect because he won't see out this new 3-year deal. Solskjaer's still got under a year left on his current 3-year contract he signed when he got the job permanently back in March 2019. The summer transfer window will be his 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager, and I think Ole is aware of how big the summer transfer window is going to be for himself and Manchester United in general. Because it's very imperative he gets the players he wants to recommend in. But you know what, I'm expecting him to get the backing he deserves, reflecting on what the board have recently said. Joe Glazer recently had a fans forum. And you know, we've got John Murtaugh, he's our director of football. We've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. And we've also got Matt Judge. And Matt Judge has been part of the club for a long time. We're going to offload players in the summer transfer window. So in that aspect we'll generate money. And it'll help us with our rebuilding process. De Gea, he's going to be leaving Manchester United. It's the right decision to get rid of David De Gea because he has now had his years at the club. Obviously now he's our second choice goalkeeper, but he was our number one for such a long time. De Gea's been at Man United for 10 years. Not so long ago, there was talks of a David De Gea and Jan Oblak swap deal. Phil Jones, I think we need to offload him. We need to loan Brandon Williams out. We need to get rid of Diego Dalot permanently. We need to get rid of Andres Pereira permanently. We need to get rid of Nemanja Matic. We need to offload Van der Beek. We need to offload Juan Mata. But we may not be offloading Juan Mata now, because Mike McGrath from The Telegraph said recently Man United are in talks over extending Juan Mata's contract. Juan Mata's current contract expires at the end of this month. And I think we need to offload Anthony Martial. But a lot of players will stay at Manchester United potentially past the summer, and I reckon there's quite a few players that have got long-term futures at the club. Dean Henderson, he'll obviously stay with us. Dean Henderson, I think, has got a long-term future at Man United. Dean Henderson's obviously now our number one. We made the right decision putting him as number one, because he did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last season. And plus he's got that experience behind him. He endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United, and he's also had other loan spells before. Before the start of last season, Henderson signed a 6-year contract with Man United, so reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. Luke Shaw, he'll also stay with us. Luke Shaw was our best player last season. You know, in a lot of his games, he showed very good attacking intent, got into very good positions, put good crosses into the box, created good chances for his teammates, provided width, and defensively, he was superb. But towards the end of last season, he looked off the pace for like 3 games in a row. Shaw still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles. Shaw's had a good career at Man United despite his injuries. He's been at the club for 7 years now. Harry Maguire, he'll stay with us as well. He was a big miss towards the end of last season. It was definitely a miss for the final. Obviously had ligament damage in his ankle. He sustained the ankle injury in our 3-1 win against Aston Villa. We certainly overpaid for Harry Maguire. We got him in a deal worth £80 million from Leicester. So he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and the second most expensive signing at the club behind Pogba. Eric Bailly, obviously we now know he's staying with us, because towards the end of last season, he signed a new contract with Man United until 2024. There's also an option of a further year. Bailly's a good centre-half, he's just too injury-prone, so in that aspect he is a liability. Lindelof will probably stay with us potentially past the summer, but I can assure he hasn't got a long-term future at Man United. Have got me strong reservations about Victor Lindelof. And Wan-Bissaka, he'll stay with us. He's a very, very good right-back, but Wan-Bissaka's got to show more in the attacking third of the pitch. There was some games all last season where he showed some good attacking intent and he got in some good positions and his crossing was quite good. Defensively, Wan-Bissaka has always been superb. He's endured 2 full seasons now at Man United. He's one of the best right-backs we've had since Gary Neville. Scott McTominay will stay with us. He's a decent player, McTominay. He's not on that level where I want him to be at as yet, but he's still young. He's got a lot of development in him. McTominay signed a new 5-year deal at Man United just after the first lockdown last year. Fred, I think he'll stay with us potentially past the summer, but I've got my reservations about Fred. I'm not convinced he can emulate to that level where I want him to be at. He's enjoyed quite a lot of bad games at Man United. We overpaid for Fred. We got him in a deal worth 52 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. Paul Pogba, I'm not sure if he's going to be staying with us, so I can't really say. But like I updated you yesterday, Solskjaer said he hopes Paul Pogba stays and signs a new contract. There's obviously been rumours of a Paul Pogba and Cristiano Ronaldo swap deal. Bruno Fernandez, obviously we know he's staying. Fernandez is our best player and he's one of the best signings we have made since Ferguson retired. In a lot of his games at Man United, he has been very, very consistent. There's also been quite a few games where he has looked off the pace, Bruno Fernandez. We have overplayed him. He has been at the club now over a year. Not so long ago, he won Player of the Year, Fernandez, and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Not so long ago, it said that Bruno Fernandez is set to sign a new contract with Man United. Worth £200,000 a week. So reflecting on that, we are willing to double his wages because Fernandez admitted he's been happy with the progress of Solskjaer's team. Fernandez's current contract expires in 2025. There's also an option of a further 12 months. We initially paid £47 million for him, but the overall cost with add-ons is just over £67 million. Predominantly plays as a number 10. Mason Greenwood, he'll obviously stay with us. I can assure he's got a long-term future at Man United. Greenwood's been an absolute revelation since he broke into our senior squad. Despite him going a long period without scoring a goal, Greenwood made his senior debut in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7. He's been part of the club for a long time. Last season, Greenwood signed a 4-year contract with Man United. Was it at the start of last season we give him that number 11 shirt? Sometimes we play him centrally, sometimes we play him on the right, but wherever we seem to play him, most of the time we get the best out of him. Edison Cavani, obviously, we know he's staying for next season because Romano said towards the end of last season that Cavani signed a new 1-year deal. Cavani's made a fantastic impact since he's come in. Marcus Rashford, he'll obviously stay with us as well. I've had a lot of concerns about Rashford because I thought he was very poor towards the end of last season and he's enjoyed quite a few bad periods and also he's become injury prone at Man United. He has now sustained quite a few injuries. Possibly Martial could be staying for next season because it recently said Solskjaer made a decision on Martial's future and he's told the Glazers he wants Martial to stay next season because he believes he's got a big role to play. I certainly don't want Martial to stay because he's no longer good enough to represent the club. A lot of United fans want him out. Obviously Martial was out with a knee injury for a long time, but before he got that knee injury he was out of form. You know, the chances were there for him, but he didn't convert them. So yeah. But next season is going to be massive for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and I think he is aware of that. Next season will be his 3rd full season. Solskjaer's now enjoyed 2 full seasons at Man United. And he's been in charge of Man United now for almost 30 months. That's over 2 years. I think next season Solskjaer's got to win a trophy at Man United if he is to remain Man United manager, in my opinion. If things start to go wrong next season, and I think the pressure will be on Solskjaer, then he will end up getting sacked. Solskjaer has not yet won a trophy as Manchester United manager, and we haven't won a trophy for 4 years. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. If we do eventually decide to sack Solskjaer, who's going to come in to replace him? I think we need someone in who's got a proven pedigree and someone who's going to suit the strappings of the club. I don't think Ole has got it in him, to bring titles to Old Trafford. And obviously there is some Man United fans that are Ole out. Obviously reflecting on that Europa League final loss against Villarreal. But there was a lot of United fans that were Ole out prior to the final, but I presume there's still some Man United fans that are Ole in and they believe that he needs more time at the club. I think he does deserve next season. My concerns about Ole, my two biggest concerns, is that he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager, and his decision making also concerns me, because in a lot of his games at Man United he has been tactically naive. But there's also a lot of things I've got to credit Solskjaer for. I didn't expect Solskjaer to do as well as he has done, to say the squad he was left with when he got appointed in as Man United manager. Because he was inheriting a lot of deadwood when he came in, and he's still inheriting some deadwood now. He did well in quite a lot of aspects last season, in his second full season. Obviously, he got us to the Europa League final. I know we didn't win it, but he still got us to the final, and that was his first major final as Man United manager. He also got us a second place finish in the league. It's not an achievement, but you can see that progress was made from his first full season. Last season went the entire season without losing away from home in the Premier League, which is a record. He got us to the FA Cup quarter-final last season. He got us to the EFL Cup semi-final. Did well in his first full season, got us to 3 semi-finals and got us a third place finish. We are in the Champions League for next season, which is a good news from a Man United perspective. He has made good signings so far as Man United manager. He's spent nearly £300 million, and so far he's endured 4 transfer windows. Ole's brought around, 10 or 11 players in, is it? He's got rid of a lot of players since he's come in. I think he's got rid of around 13 or 14 players. Obviously, academy players have left as well. We recently released 8 players, and 6 of them were academy players. We have released Sergio Romano, and we released Joel Pereira. I like the way Ole has promoted the youth. Another thing I've got to credit him for, when he got appointed in as Man United manager, he assured that everybody would get their chances to express themselves, including the young players, and more or less everybody's being given their chances, so they are the things I've got to credit him for. We appointed Ole in December 2018 to replace Mourinho, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. Yeah, a lot of United fans thought we made a mistake giving him the job permanently, and maybe we should have waited until the end of that season to decide or not whether he'd be the right candidate, but he got the job permanently, reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. When he was the interim manager, he won 14 games out of 19 in all competitions. So anyway guys, I'll be on with another video soon. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.